Here on The Colour of Country Life, great to be chatting with Michael McCormack, the re-elected member for Riverina. Congratulations, Michael.
Thanks, Ricky.
Look, it's a pretty comprehensive win for yourself, firstly, in the seat of Riverina, comprehensively backed by the voters there. What do you put that down to?
Trust, integrity. They know I've delivered. They know I've turned up, and the experience that I bring to the position over 12 years is something that I think the voters liked and obviously endorsed. And the fact that I've also had so many volunteers willing to help out at the 98 polling booths across the region. We won all but 2, and that says something about those people who really, truly believe in the National Party, and not all of them are branch members. Some of them are just supporters of mine, people who know that I represent something that's going to be good for the future and is going to back them in, whether they're farmers, small business people, indeed, whether they don't have everything else that they'd like in life, and they want a better life. So, look, I'm just honoured and privileged and humbled, quite frankly, to be re-elected.
Now, Michael, it seems across your experience is fairly similar across the board for your Nationals colleagues. It seems, looking apart from the coalition, the National Party itself seems to have been returned fairly well in all the seats that it was holding.
And that happened last time too at the 2019 election. We've taken a haircut. We've taken quite a haircut. Across our seats, or in most of our seats, and I understand that people are concerned and upset by the circumstances in which have beset the nation. Started out 3 years ago with drought. We had fires, we had floods, we had indeed a mouse plague, and not to mention coronavirus, which really took its toll on the psyche of the nation, the mood of the people, and I think that has some way reflected in the vote. I also, I know that there are quite a few inner city people who are a bit upset about certain things. Certainly, that's why they've gone with independence, and there's a lot of money spent by Simon Holmes à Court, by Clive Palmer, indeed, on trying to influence the result. I think that's something that is a bit of a concern. We're not America, we're Australia, and we shouldn't be able to sell our democracy, nor should anybody be able to buy our democracy. But that said, good luck to Labor. Whilst they start with a very low primary vote, somewhere in the early 30s percent-wise, they've won government, and it's now up to Anthony Albanese and the team to live up to their promises. I did congratulate him yesterday. I sent him a congratulatory text well before 8 o'clock, and I've got a good relationship with him too. And, I look forward to serving the Riverina as best I can in opposition, which is something that is not new to me. I've been in opposition before, back with my first term from 2010 to 2013, and it's more difficult, but you still have to turn up, and you still have to, as I will, fight hard for the Riverina.
Now, I want to talk about the natural suit for the National Party being agriculture. There was a lot talked about in our regional areas we cover in relation to the agricultural visa, indeed the Murray-Darling Basin Plan as well, and Labor's policies on those fronts. How are you going to be able to effectively serve in opposition to make sure country people and farmers' voices are heard on those agricultural policy topics?
Well, we were able to do that in 2010 to 2013. And I know that certainly I was one of those who stopped border buybacks from opposition. I know I influenced our policy on that, because I don't believe that buying water back and just making those river communities almost uneconomic and unviable was a good policy for Australia and for our food growing. And certainly there's pressure on Labor now to try to continue our policies to make sure that we do reach that goal of 2030 of $100 billion for agriculture. Now, who is going to be their agriculture minister? Who would know? Julie Collins, the member for Franklin, was their spokesperson for it, their shadow minister. Well, I know in the debate she had with David Littleproud, didn't offer many policies or solutions and said, well, that's to come. I've still yet to ever see it. So, Labor's never shown a propensity to really care about regional Australia. Certainly didn't under the Gillard-Rudd years. Hopefully they'll have learnt the lessons of that and they'll be better this time.
Well, using the Basin Plan as an illustration, you've now got potentially 3 Greens in the lower house and also potentially 12 Green senators. They're going to dominate a lot of the policy making from Labor, I would have thought, on these farming and regional issues.
And that's a worry not just for the environment, but it's also a worry for the social fabric of the nation. I mean, we've had one of the Green candidates, David Shoebridge in New South Wales, wants to defund the police. We've got other Greens policies. They want to ban horse racing. Well, there's 70,000 jobs at the click of a finger gone, and most of them in regional Australia, let alone the billions of dollars that industry generates. And it's a concern. The Greens, yes, dictating policy, water policy. My goodness, it is a great concern. I do hope that there's still an emphasis on soil. I was the parliamentary chair of the Friends of Soil with Linda Burney. I appreciate she's going to be the Aboriginal Affairs Minister. We did some good things together in that space. And I know Charles Sturt University here at Wagga Wagga are having a tour and a dinner today and tonight in relation to soil. That's one of the big areas that agriculture can really enhance its productivity and continue to be a world leader in making sure that our markets are met and our food production is high. But, the Greens get hold of it, well, they'll be locking up land and letting it go to pests and vermin as they always do.
Now, Michael, I have to put this one to you because I heard David Koch use your name this morning talking to Barnaby Joyce about his influence on the result. What have you said, if anything, about Barnaby Joyce? Mr. Koch has said that his presence has negatively influenced the coalition's overall vote.
Well, the leadership change last June shouldn't have happened. And in questions from a journalist from The Guardian yesterday, that's what I said. Whether that influenced the inner city seats where I was popular and provided a lot of infrastructure as minister and did spend a lot of time in, well, that's for others to decide. There were no campaigns against my name or my reputation or integrity or anything like that in inner city seats, and I was very much warmly welcomed in those particular electorates. They believed in what I had to offer, and as the leader of the regional party, they respected me. I'll let others decide whether the change of leadership had an influence on the overall result, but as I say, my reputation was good and solid, and at the last election, when I led the National Party, we certainly retained all our seats and with thumping majorities, which is not what I can say this time. We've had a close shave in some of those seats.
So I guess I've got to ask you then, excuse the pun, Inland Rail remains on track? One of your pet projects as Infrastructure Minister?
Oh, look, it is indeed, and I have to say the Labor candidate in the Riverina was very much on a unity ticket, in fact almost taking credit for some of the things that as a party that we'd put in place. Anthony Albanese has said that he's in favour of Inland Rail. And so, let's see them now match their words with action.
All right, full steam ahead again, excuse the pun. Michael, thanks for joining us again on Flow. We look forward to talking to you regularly during this next term.
Yeah, and very much thanks to those polling places at Huron Creek, the Rock, Lockhart. They've come home and very much endorsed what I have to offer, and me as a credible candidate for the National Party. The National Party, of course, made strong down in that region by Tim Fischer. So very much pleased with those results and looking forward to representing all of the areas across the Riverina and Central West into the future.